Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence announces that Washington was assessing whether to move its embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Iran launches its annual naval wargames that will be held in the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf of Oman, the al-Bab, el-Mandab, and northern parts of the Indian Ocean, where millions of barrels of oil are transported daily to Europe, the United States, and Asia. Turkey's military chief of staff declares his country's incursion into northern Syria has achieved its goals following the seizure of the Syrian town of al-Bab. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence announced over the weekend that the United States was assessing whether to move its embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, as well as seeking a way to forge a lasting peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians that would assure the security of the Jewish state.
We're also reviewing additional steps to demonstrate America's support, including assessing whether the American embassy in Israel should be relocated to Jerusalem. And President Trump is personally invested in forging a lasting peace in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Sheldon and I were talking about that issue just tonight. Under President Trump, let me assure you, America will support the negotiation process, but as the President said, any agreement must be reached by both sides, and where there will undoubtedly have to be compromises, know this: the Trump administration will never compromise the safety and security of the Jewish state of Israel.
The American Vice President took the opportunity during his address to the annual Republican Jewish Coalition to send a strong signal to the Islamic Republic of Iran that Washington will stand strong in the face of Tehran's ongoing provocations.
We will stand strong in the face of ongoing provocations and efforts by Iran to destabilize the region across the wider Arab world. President Trump already put the leading state sponsor of terrorism on notice, and we told the Ayatollahs in Tehran that they should check the calendar. There's a new president in the Oval Office, and his name is Donald Trump.
The White House put Iran on notice on February 2nd for test firing a ballistic missile and said it was reviewing how to respond, taking an aggressive posture toward Tehran as opposed to the previous administration of President Barack Obama that turned a blind eye to the Islamic Republic's recurring provocations in an ongoing effort by Washington to preserve the nuclear agreement, which President Obama claimed was the best way to limit Iran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, Iran launched naval drills yesterday as part of its annual exercises that will be held in the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf of Oman, the al-Bab, el-Mandab, and northern parts of the Indian Ocean. The Iranian Navy said the exercises aimed at preparing the Iranian Navy for the fight against terrorism and piracy. Navy ships, submarines, and helicopters will take part in the drills across the area of about 2 million square kilometers, and Marines will showcase their skills along Iran's southeastern coast. The exercises come just 1 month after a U.S. Navy destroyer fired warning shots at 4 Iranian fast attack vessels near the Strait of Hormuz after they closed in at high speed. The vessels belong to Iran's Revolutionary Guards, which are not participating in the current war games. The United States Navy's Fifth Fleet is based in the region and protects shipping lanes in the Gulf and nearby waters, where millions of barrels of oil are transported daily to Europe, the United States, and Asia. Now to Israel's south, where Palestinian Islamists fired a rocket early this morning toward the southern communities of the Jewish state. No injuries or damage were reported as the rocket exploded in an open area in the Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council. The IDF said it views the Hamas organization, which controls the Gaza Strip, as solely responsible for any attacks emanating from the Palestinian enclave, emphasizing that it maintains the right to respond in a time and manner of its choosing. The rocket fire from Gaza comes just 1 week after the Islamic State in the Sinai Peninsula fired 2 rockets toward Israel, which exploded in the southern Eshkol region. Also in that incident, no injuries or damage were reported. Now to another matter, Israel has denied a work permit to the Human Rights Watch director, accusing the group of serving as Palestinian propagandists. Israel's foreign ministry spokesman Emmanuel Nachshon explained the decision, stressing it was because of the organization's ongoing extreme hostile anti-Israel agenda, working at the service of the Palestinian propaganda in a totally biased manner. Human Rights Watch Director for Israel and Palestine, Omar Shakir, who was refused the work visa, said the decision came as a surprise.
Human Rights Watch on my behalf applied for a work permit so I could take up my post as Israel and Palestine Director on the ground in Jerusalem. After waiting about 6 months for a response from the Israeli Interior Ministry, from whom we asked if the work permit, we received a response on Monday informing us that our request had been denied on the basis that Human Rights Watch was not a real human rights organization, that instead we were engaging in propaganda and falsely raising the banner of human rights. The decision came as a shock, not only because we've had for nearly 3 decades regular access to Israel and the West Bank, but also because we regularly correspond and engage with Israeli authorities. And while we've often disagreed on the substance of our findings, we've had a professional working relationship.
Shakir stressed that even though the denial impedes the organization's work, they will seek to reverse Israel's decision while continue to monitor the situation from afar.
The reality is this denial has impeded our work on a series of a variety of important issues, both pertaining to abuses by the Palestinian Authority, by Israel, and by Hamas. But we intend to continue to seek a reversal in policy, and in the interim, we'll do the best to make do with our current resources on the ground and outside of Israel.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem emphasized that its decision was specifically for the Human Rights Watch, which it defined as operating under the false banner of human rights. The ministry emphasized that the decision to deny Human Rights Watch did not in any way represent a change in policy and will not affect other non-government organizations operating in the country. Now, with regard to the conflict in Israel's northern neighbor, Turkey's military chief of staff declared over the weekend that his country's incursion into northern Syria has achieved its goals following the seizure of the Syrian town of el-Bab. The Turkish military chief told troops in a speech during a visit to the Turkish border provinces of Gaziantep and Kilis that the Euphrates Shield operation, launched some 6 months ago, has been carried out with caution due to the unconventional nature of the conflict, and that the attempt to create a buffer zone between the Turkish border and both Islamic State and Kurdish militia forces fighting in the war-torn country was successful.
DAEŞ terör örgütünün ağırlık merkezini oluşturan el-Bab'a yönelik harekat başlatılmıştır. Bu mücadelenin konvansiyonel bir harekattan farklı olarak asimetrik bir mücadele olması, meskun mahallelerde icra edilmesi, bombalı araçlar, intihar bombacıları, keskin nişancılar, el yapımı patlayıcılar gibi özel zorluklar içermesi nedeniyle ihtiyatlı bir şekilde sürdürülmüş ve çok şükür başarıyla sonuçlandırılmıştır. el-Bab'ın kontrol altına alınmasıyla birlikte harekatın başlangıcında planlanan hedeflere çok şükür ulaşılmıştır. Müteakip süreçte hayatın hızla normalleştirilmesi ve yerel halkın güven içerisinde evlerine dönüşleri için tüm tehdit ve tehlikelere karşı 7 bölge emniyeti üzerinde önemli durulacak, özenle durulacak ve her türlü destek sağlanacaktır.
Taking control of el-Bab, an Islamic State stronghold some 30 kilometers, which is equal to some 20 miles from the Turkish border, deepens Turkish influence in an area of Syria where it has effectively created a buffer zone and would allow Ankara-backed forces to press on towards Raqqa, the Islamic State's de facto capital in Syria. Thank you for joining us. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Yair Pinto. Have a good evening, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.